With all the many types of messaging apps, we don't really need to use contract controller for messaging, but there may be times when you want to send a quick message to all users who are logged onto the system or one individual person. More commonly, though, it's a requirement for a user to come out of a record so that you can access and amend the same record. You can quickly send a message to them, asking them if they could come out of the record or clear all record locking if they're still blocking you and they're on their dashboard. On occasions, it might be that the user has physically left their PC for a period of time whilst not exiting the record they were working on, and so blocking you. Now, if you're unable to get them to clear the record, you do have the facility to completely log them off the system, although a line manager's code will be required to use this feature, as they may lose what they were currently working on. So let's look at the messaging system. Now, this will be a little tricky because I'm running the system on the same PC, but I've got one user here, Barry Jones, logged on with this dashboard, and then I've got another user, Richard 7, logged on at this dashboard. So let's say Barry wanted to send Richard a message. We go to our system administration and list all message users logged onto the system. This will list all the users that are currently logged onto the system that you can send a message to. So let's say we want to send a message to Richard. So I'll just type a message, hello. And then we will send that message. And we can see here we have a pop-up notification message sent from administrator, sent from Barry Jones, hello. And we also have the message here. Now, the reason why we're doing this twice is you'll see that this message in a wee while will disappear. So if the user wasn't actually at their PC at the time the message was sent, they would come back and they'll be unaware of the message. But now they've actually got the message remaining on their screen till they just click and say the message has been received and read. If we wanted to send a message to all the current users, we simply type in the message and send message to all listed users. The system will confirm you actually want to send this message to everybody. So we just say yes, send now. Now you notice, because obviously I've sent the message to myself as well, this message behind here is clicked up because it thinks it's notifying Richard 7's dashboard that's beneath this. But because my dashboard was live, it's put an automated message behind this message. So we say message received, and this was the automated message that would have been the pop-up message. But because my system was live and actually to the front of my PC, it was able to display it straight away on the list there. So really that is all there is to the message. If I just go to the other dashboard there, you can see the message sent from Barry Jones. If we try and send a message without anything, it tells us we need to add a message. Similarly, if I try and add a message without selecting a user, it will tell me we need to send a message to. So really that's all there is to using the very simple message system. The next slide, I'll show you how that we can clear the record locking off another user's PC and how to log a user off the system. Okay, so let's look at the record locking message system. So I want to work on contract 2804, so I double click on it, but I'm told that Barry Jones is currently using it, so I can't access it. I do have the option to view only, but it might be that I actually want to work on the contract. So I can click try again later. I will then go to the message system, system administration, and list all message users. Select Barry, and I can just simply click the request clear record locking on selected user's PC. That will instantly send a message to Barry Jones. If I look at Barry's screen, we can now see a message sent from Richard 7. You're currently blocking me. Please, could you complete what you're doing? Return to your dashboard. So Barry could then say, okay, message received, carry on, finish what he's doing, click save and close. And then he could even use the message system to send a message back to Richard to say that it's now clear. So we could say, Richard, Okay, now finished. Send the message. Richard will then get the message saying, message sent by James. Okay, now finished. So I can then come out of there and I can now click on 2804. And I now have access to the record to do whatever I want with that. So you can't actually clear another user from a record remotely. You can only request them to come out of the record. If you had a situation where a user had opened a record and had left their PC, and you needed access to that and they weren't available to unlock their PC and come out of the record, you can clear them off the system, which I'll show you on the next slide. So looking at removing a user from the system, firstly, why would we want to do that? There's possibly two main reasons. One being that the maximum number of users of the licenses the system's been reached. A user has gone out to lunch or gone home for the day, and another user needs to get from the system. What you can do then is get another user that has actually got access to the system to jump onto the system and remove the user that's currently taking up that license. Or it might be that the user had started a contract, was working on a contract, then left for the day, their PC's locked, and somebody else needs, or you need to get onto that record, and you can't free up that record to make any amendments. So if we go to Richard's PC and we open up 2804, and we're currently working on it, so I'm just going to remove some text here. So we've made an amendment to this record, but then for whatever reason, I haven't saved and closed the record. I've left my desk, I've gone home for the day, my PC's gone and locked itself. So no user can actually get onto my PC to finish this record or to clear it. So another user, say Barry, wants to access that record. As we've seen before, we can't because it's already in use by Richard. Now, again, I stress this should only be used in an emergency situation where you need to access this record. So what I can do is go to the system administration, list or message users, select Richard, and then log selected user off contact controller. Now you can see on my PC, because I'm running both here, we've got this copy here, and then this is Richard's copy on here. So what I'm now going to do is log that selected user off. But before I do, just remind ourselves, we've made some changes here. We've removed part of that text. So we select Richard, we log Richard off. It says, are you sure you want to do that? You'll need to enter a line manager's code. If you don't know a line manager's code, you won't be allowed to do that. If you've got your own line manager's code, type that in, or if you've got a code from somebody else. So Barry's would be, he's set his up as BJ333. Just informing him, because I've used my own code, that it won't be automatically changed. If you were to use another user's line manager code, the system would automatically change the code for them and notify them, A, that their code had been used by you, and B, that this is their new code, so you couldn't use the same code twice. We'll now see that removed that user from the system. You can see now that that desktop item, the icon, has actually gone. So that user's now been taken off the system and no longer showing on this listing. So that means that I can now access this record that I couldn't before. But what you will see when I go to the contract details, the part that they were changing, that they had changed, because they hadn't saved the record, wasn't saved. So you are in danger of losing any data that they have entered by doing this. But it does mean if they've gone home, their PC had locked, and we needed to access this record, we are able to do that. So then Richard could simply then log back onto the system. If we take a Barry out of that record, we can then gain access back to that record, and obviously you can see whatever Richard had done hadn't been saved. And that is all there is to removing a user from the system. But as I say, it really should be used with care, because if somebody is currently working on a record and you clear them off the system, it'd be rather disconcerting if they're sat there in front of it and somebody removes it from the system. But more importantly, it won't save any data that they have just written. So I say to be used with care, but that's how we can free up licenses on the system or free up the system. So thank you for taking the time to look at this short video, and hopefully it will have helped you with this area of Contract Controller. Now, if you need more assistance with using Contract Controller or would like more information, please do get in touch.